Hello everyone. Today I will tell you a story. The story is titled, By and the Way He Fits Perfectly into the Sunshine and Quote. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you appreciate me. You can skip this if you don't and oppose. Like this video. Thank you very much. The story begins as follows. Every morning, the sunlight arrived at our house before anyone else woke up. It slipped gently through the thin curtains, stretched across the wooden floor, and finally rested near the living room window like a warm invitation. And every morning, without fail, I was already there. I was my dog, not large, not small, just the kind of dog that seemed to be made of comfort. His fur was soft, slightly messy, and always warm to the touch. He had a quiet intelligence in his eyes, the kind that didn't rush to show off but patiently waited for the world to notice. While most dogs greeted the day with excitement, I greeted it with understanding. On this particular morning, I noticed something different. I wasn't simply lying in the sunlight. He had folded himself into it. His body curved just enough to stay within the brightest patch, paws tucked in neatly, tail resting as if carefully placed. It was as though he knew the exact shape of the warmth and had decided to become part of it. I paused on my way to the kitchen, coffee forgotten, watching him breathe slowly. Each rise and fall of his chest seemed to match the calm rhythm of the house. Outside, the street was already noisy with motorbikes and distant voices, but inside, I created a small island of peace. When I sat down beside him, he opened one eye, looked at me briefly, and then closed it again. No need to move. No need to greet. His message was simple: this moment is enough. As I watched him, I realized how rarely I allowed myself to exist like that, fully present, fully satisfied, doing nothing more than enjoying warmth. Without saying a word, was reminding me that happiness didn't always arrive with effort. Sometimes it arrived quietly, exactly where you already were. As the day moved on, the sunlight shifted. The bright patch on the floor slowly crept away from the window, stretching toward the center of the room. I noticed before anyone else did. He lifted his head, blinked twice, stood up, and followed the warmth with careful steps, as if he were tracing an invisible map only he could see. There was something deeply charming about the way Bai moved. He didn't rush. He adjusted himself again and again until every part of his body fit comfortably into the light. When the sun was strong, he sprawled out proudly. When it softened, he curled up tighter, protecting the warmth like a treasure. Throughout the day, I worked nearby, typing, answering messages, thinking about responsibilities that never seemed to end. Occasionally, I felt tired just looking at the screen. And every time that happened, I looked down at Bai. He slept peacefully, sometimes twitching his paws as if chasing something gentle in his dreams. Other times, he stayed awake, watching dust particles float in the sunlight. His world was simple, but not small. It was full of trust. At one point, I stretched my legs and accidentally disturbed the light. The shadow fell across Bai's back. He opened his eyes, looked at the shadow, then looked at me. There was no annoyance in his gaze, only patience. I moved slightly, letting the sunlight return, and he sighed softly, settling back into his place. That small interaction stayed with me. I didn't demand comfort. He adapted, trusted, and waited. He understood that warmth returned if you allowed space for it. Living with Bai had taught me many things over time, but moments like this revealed something deeper. Animals don't complicate love. They don't overthink comfort. They simply accept what is offered and give back presence in return. In a world where people often measure their days by productivity, Bai measured his by warmth, safety, and closeness. And somehow, his way felt wiser. By late afternoon, the sunlight grew softer, turning golden and gentle. The bright patch on the floor became smaller, and Bai adjusted once more, curling into himself like a perfectly placed puzzle piece. I sat on the floor beside him, feeling the warmth on my skin too. That was when I realized something important. Bai wasn't just lying in the sunshine. He was teaching me how to live with it. In our modern lives, we are constantly chasing something: success, stability, recognition, or a better version of ourselves. We rush past small moments, thinking they don't matter. But Bai showed me that the smallest moments often hold the greatest comfort. When Bai chose the sunlight, he wasn't being lazy. He was being mindful. He listened to his body, respected his needs, and trusted his surroundings. He didn't worry about the future or regret the past. He stayed exactly where the warmth was, exactly when it mattered. This simple habit carries a powerful lesson for our lives today. We can learn to slow down, to notice what brings us warmth, whether it's a quiet morning, a kind conversation, or time spent with someone we love. Like Bai, we can adjust ourselves gently instead of forcing our way through discomfort. Our relationship with animals also reflects how we treat the world around us. When we offer care, safety, and respect to them, they return something priceless: unconditional presence. I never judged my tired days or busy mind. He stayed close, reminding me that companionship doesn't require words, only attention and kindness. In today's fast-paced world, living well doesn't always mean doing more. Sometimes, it means finding your patch of sunshine and allowing yourself and others to rest within it. If we learn from animals like Bai, we can build a kinder relationship between humans and animals and a gentler relationship with ourselves. And perhaps, tomorrow morning, when the sunlight returns, we'll both be there, fitting perfectly into its warmth together.